All righty. Hello, hello. Good afternoon, Ronald. How are you today?
I am very well, Darlene. How are you today?
Doing amazing. I appreciate you asking. Again, I know that I'm frozen, so I apologize for that. But we will go ahead and just proceed with the interview itself. So,
Yes.
if you don't mind, let's jump right into it. So, tell me a little bit about your professional experience, if you don't mind.
Well, I have a very diverse background, but as far as warehouses, I've worked in warehouses as large as 1.6 million square feet and as small as 25,000 square feet. But in every single one of them, we've done really outstanding work, understanding a lot about warehouses, understanding
Mhm.
flu management space, um, tag out, lockout,
Yeah.
all kind of situations that can arise in a warehouse at any given time.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that introduction, Ronald. Now, I do have your resume pulled up here as well. And I would love for us to touch base a little bit more in reference to your position at ProFast Supply. I know that you and I kind of talked about it off camera, and the way that you were able to get promoted a few times at that role, where you started. So, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about that specific company and your promotions and everything that came with that.
So at Profast, as mentioned before, was through a temp agency.
Mhm.
And the first thing I noticed was the disorganization in the warehouse.
Yeah.
I start twitching and I start to label stuff. And then one label after another, before you know it, the entire warehouse is labeled. Of course, the warehouse is only 25,000 square feet. Basically, in about a week and a half, I'm able to do that. Um, they noticed that, and on the next paycheck, they tell me that I'm now part of the company. Very fortunate for that. The next process or the next position that they grant me is to not only work in the warehouse, but to also work the counter, you know. So as
Yeah.
people were coming in, I can do a number of things. If it got too busy at the counter, I could help at the counter. If they were backed up at the warehouse, I could help out at the warehouse. Always clearing the first or the ground level, keeping everything neat and organized, and most of all, clean. Cleanliness is a high part of the
Yeah.
warehouse. That I Cleanliness and safety, two things I should not ever uh, try to compromise on.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so
And
that was after that, um, a position opened up since I had already salary reached kind of the cap of the salary.
Mhm.
They offered me to do outside sales. I already knew the customers. It wasn't like, there was a lot of work to do there. And it was just harvesting not only new customers, staying on top of the new products that were coming out. You may not know this, but after every hurricane, the construction industry revamps all of the standards.
yeah.
So, you have every new construction has to adhere to a new standard of that year. So it's very complicated and very interesting.
Yeah.
Just like a warehouse, if you keep it clean and organized, you're always up to the standard. Mhm.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And thank you for sharing really your journey over at ProFast. Really speaks to your work ethic as far as you starting from a temp, right? And then as soon as you know it, you got placed directly with ProFast. And then from there you got promoted a few times, still helped out in the front, or really, in the store nonetheless, and then also in the back in the warehouse. So that really shows that you're a team player ultimately, and your work ethic is definitely reflecting on that. Um, Now, in reference to some systems, Ron, if you don't mind sharing with me some systems that you're familiar with, please.
So basically, the first 4 years we ran with Sage, and Sage was used in many aspects of the business. We used it for inventory, cycle counts, which were periodically about every 3 months. We did cycle counts, and we also used it as a point of sales. And we also used it to manage repairs, um, warranties, and big items like compressors and stuff. They go under a third party warranty as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Sage is very, very versatile. And then we switched over to P21. P21 is newer. Supposedly it renders more efficient product. But from my experience, and it could have been that, but I worked with a P21 for 4 years, and I worked with Sage for 4 years. I still have a preference for Sage. I thought it was a lot simpler. The shortcuts were a lot easier and
Yeah.
not as complicated as the P21. But again, it
Yeah.
could be, we look at new things always with that eye. Like, oh, I like the old one better.
It's just preference, right?
Right. I think the personal preference, yes.
And then I know we spoke on the phone or off the recording here as well, but you're also proficient and familiar with utilizing Microsoft Outlook, for example, with emailing.
Of course. Of
Yep.
course. I'm a little perplexed lately because now they charge for everything,
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean, that is true.
It is crazy because one moment they love you, the next moment they're having difficulty.
It's definitely true. I agree. It seems like you may have frozen on us here, Ronald. So I'm not sure if you can still hear me.
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you there. But yeah, no worries. You might be glitching just like me. I
Yes,
think it's really just a Google thing.
I think it could be. Google is wonderful, but not all the time.
I agree. Alrighty, well, I just have 2 more questions to wrap it up here for you. But as far as any time off within the next 30 days, do you have any plans at all that we should know about?
No, in the next 30 days, no, absolutely nothing.
Okay, awesome. And then as far as starting a new role, just so we all know, how soon were you looking to start a new position?
Well, I was hoping my background check would have came in and maybe tomorrow.
Yep. Well, yeah. Hey, if
I'm
we can
just
get you
kidding.
in
I'm kidding.
tomorrow.
I'm kidding. I understand that there is a process, and whatever it takes, you can, if I've committed myself to telling you that I will wait the length of time that you need, then I will do that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Ronald. And again, I appreciate all the time that you spent with me this afternoon, as well as jumping on this interview with me. So I want to go ahead and conclude this interview, but if you don't mind, stay with me on the line. I want to chat with you really quickly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Have a great